And a good morning to you. Welcome inside the Bottom Line. Lanny Ford, Juju Phillips along with here on a Thursday morning. Cold Thursday morning, Juju. I'm showing 43 degrees. What you got up there in Hickorytown? Cold?
Well, we are at low 40s, Lanny. I got 42 here. So, yeah, it is definitely toboggan weather and glove weather. I went out and did my morning walk this morning, and it was chilly.
Well, I've kind of gotten to the point to where I'm still in my shorts. Now, next week, when it's not supposed to get out of the 50s, I may have to rethink that a little bit because I'm not as young as I used to be. But we'll wait and see.
All right. Well, I guess 1st of November, that's usually a pretty good sign that you need to get out of your shorts.
Well, and I don't know about that. I don't know about all that now. There'll be days that I have to just because I look pretty stupid if I don't. But there are other days when I really don't care. I'm completely good with whatever it is. How's things going, my friend? Everything good?
Everything's wonderful, Lanny. With regards to the Bears of LR, they came off a win last weekend, homecoming win, nice crowd. Everybody's pretty happy about that. And then transitioning into basketball, where the men and women open up in a couple of weeks, and we're in it right now with down the stretch with football, followed by basketball season coming up next month.
You know, it's really hard to believe we've only got 2 weeks of regular season high school football left. You think it never gets here, and then once it gets here, you're like, oh, my God, it's over.
Yeah, and we got the playoffs, and then, of course, what we told you last week, the state football finals will be held at Lenoir-Rhyne's Moretz Stadium. Don't have any new details yet. We do know, Lanny, that it's probably going to be over a 2-day period. They'll have a couple of championship games rather than just one championship game on a Saturday. It's probably, I think they're leaning towards, from what I've been told, between Friday and Saturday. So maybe one game on Friday night, another game on Saturday afternoon. Give them some time to turn around and get things cleaned up and so forth, and allow teams to travel as well. So it should be exciting. We'll probably know by the end of the month, if not early November, about which classifications that state championship games or those games will be held.
That was going to be my next question. I was just curious about when that will come down as far as what they're looking at and where from a location standpoint.
Well, my understanding is that they're going to have what they call site preparations. They're going to send some people from the State Athletic Association here to Lenoir-Rhyne and then go over everything, and that may not happen until November. At the earliest, probably, no later than before Thanksgiving, I'm sure.
Before we get into football, give us kind of a little preview of basketball since it's cranking up. I know the NBA got started. There's some college basketball that's getting underway now. What are we looking at from the Bears?
Well, the Bears opened their season in mid-November, both the men and women. The women have a brand-new head coach. She came from Mars Hill, and she led that program in a turnaround. Mars Hill, not known to be outstanding in terms of women's basketball. They won 17 games last year. They hired her away from Mars Hill. So there's some excitement, some energy, and some positive vibe with LR women's basketball, but most of the vibe has been with the men. Of course, coming off an Elite Eight appearance last year, one of the final 8 teams in the nation. They're nationally ranked again this year. They brought in some transfer players. They have some holdovers that are excellent, including a 7-footer in Conrad Luczynski. They added another 7-foot player in the transfer portal. So there are high expectations for Lenoir-Rhyne men's basketball. They open their season next month in a tournament down in Florida against some other nationally ranked teams. So we'll get an idea early on just how good this basketball team will be. But coming off last year, they won a record 29 games, school record. They made it to the Elite Eight. So, again, I can't imagine expectations not any higher than they are this year for head coach Brent Owen and his team.
You go back to the women's program. Unusual to get a coach from a program inside the conference?
I think so. She is familiar. She has been assistant coach at Wingate. She got a graduate degree at Wingate. She also, I believe, maybe coached at Catawba.
Yep.
And she played basketball in the South as well. So, yeah, that's unusual to go from one SAC 8 school to the other. But I guess she showed the fact that LR women's basketball came off kind of a 500 season a year ago, and they hired her away from Mars Hills. Again, a little bit of a surprise, but she certainly has brought the energy and high energy, so to speak, and hopefully changed the style of play that LR women's basketball has been doing the last couple of years.
Now, will this be the first year with the renovations to the gym, or is this second year?
It might be second or third year,
Okay.
Lanny.
Okay. I wasn't sure. I knew that they had made. I've seen some pictures. They made some noticeable changes inside the gym, and that's just another thing, another commitment to LR and overall athletic programs. You know, you see it in softball, you see it in baseball, you see it in basketball and volleyball in the gym, and you've seen it in the football complex. So there's a real commitment there from the Bears.
Yeah, there is. I think the basketball. The renovation started. They gutted the place and put in new seating, new paint job, brand new large scoreboards on each side of the gym. They are celebrating. They don't talk about it as much, but they are celebrating their 70th year of basketball at Shuford Memorial Arena now, not gymnasium, but an arena that opened in 1955. And so that's 70 long years, and this is the 105th year of Lenore Ryan basketball. So, yeah, it's kind of a record year and a historic year for both LR men's and women's basketball for sure.
Go ahead, let's catch up on football. Coming off homecoming weekend, kind of give us the rundown.
Well, the Bears got back on the winning side. They knocked off Virginia Wise last week, and before a nice homecoming crowd, Lenore Ryan played pretty well. Virginia Wise, a team that had been struggling this year, but the Bears put some things together. They had an offense that was, you know, when you look at the statistics, Lanny, they're kind of right in the middle. They're not overwhelming in terms of scoring a bunch of points. They're averaging 20, 22 points a game, and that's right in the middle of not only national statistics, but conference statistics. Defensively, they're at the middle or near the bottom defensively. So the Bears are just kind of treading water right now. They're 4-4. They got 3 more games left, and 2 of those games are on the road. Then they have a bye week, and then they finish off with their annual rivalry game with Catawba, the last game of the season, regular season, November the 15th. But the Bears have a very slim chance of making the playoffs, probably 0 chance of winning a conference championship in that automatic playoff berth, but they're going to have to win their final 3 games. They're going to have to do it impressively to get any kind of notice for any at-large bid for the postseason. They rarely do NCAA Division II tournament teams get to the postseason with a 7-4 record, and that's what the Bears would be if they win their final 3 games.
Yeah, that was going to be a question I was going to ask you about. I wasn't sure what the postseason looked like, but I thought it would be kind of slim based on if you fall down. Hang on one second. You know, when you look at it, once you kind of fall behind because of the way the playoffs work, it's hard to make your way back.
It is. They probably LR lost a couple of close games earlier this year, 1-score games, and that put them behind the 8 ball. This year, first year in the NCAA Division II, the automatic qualifier goes to the conference champion, and the rest will take at large. So they've added 1 playoff team from 7 to 8 in the 4 regions, and so 4 conference champions and 4 at-large bids. Now, they've expanded the playoffs. It's not impossible that you could make the postseason at 7-4, but it's very, very unlikely. But LR is going to have to win some impressive games the last 3 games of the season. One of them against their big rival Wingate. Catawba's only lost a couple of games in the conference. Mars Hill's always tough to play this weekend at Mars Hill up in the mountains. So they got a tough task to get things turned around to finish at 7-4. Bears have not had a losing season, and they come into this game at 4-4. Haven't had a losing season since 2017. So we talked about expectations with men's basketball earlier, Lanny, the expectations for football are probably even higher, that LR should contend for a conference championship and be in the national picture when it comes to the postseason.
Mm-hmm. Well, and here's the thing: you can't say, "Well, we're out of the playoffs. We're gonna fold it up." You got to finish strong, and finish strong going. And I think injuries have played some part in this season.
It has. They were down to their fourth team running back last couple of weeks. They were rotating a third and fourth team running backs. They've had some injuries there. They've had some injuries along the defensive side. Definitely had some injuries at quarterback earlier this year where they were down to their third team quarterback. But over the last couple of weeks, the Bears just don't seem to have that, I don't want to call it sense of urgency, play with that kind of excitement and vibe, as the kids like to say, that you probably need this part in the season. Late in the season when so much is on the line and you're playing for a postseason berth. And another thing maybe we don't take account in, Lanny, in fact, when you think about Division II, a lot of these Division II schools, that some of these players, they're playing maybe for an opportunity not only to maybe be a backup at a Division II school like Lenoir-Rhyne and get a chance to play even more, but they're also looking at what's out there for them if they jump in the transfer portal. Because we all know that some of the Division I schools, mid-majors, call them what you will, they'll see somebody from a D2 program that's doing very well, and they'll jump in the portal and pluck that person away. So for individually, I guess some players have a lot to play for. You kind of wonder if LR is just finishes out the string, how many of those players from the Bears will go in the portal during the offseason? How much will LR then have to dip back in the portal themselves to bring in more transfers? It's a complicated and it's a tricky situation, even at the Division II level as well.
But being able to navigate that is important in moving forward because this landscape is not changing.
No, it's not. In fact, it's probably going to even get more complicated as well. I mean, there's only going to be one transfer portal window. Maybe that'll help as well, but kids still have the opportunity to jump around whatever school they want to go to, depending on when they do it. So, yeah, and players that maybe had high expectations for themselves and they want to get out of the portal or get into the portal and get out of their current situation, and maybe there's somebody comes along and says, we'll pay, and that's happened as well. So a lot of questions still arise. If the Bears finish out 5-6 or 6-5, as opposed to maybe 7-4, you kind of wonder how many of those players will stay and how many will leave.
Yeah, and it's an ever-changing. Like I say, I think the important point and the thing that you have to make sure that you understand is we're not going back. You don't have to like it, but this is the way that things are going to be, and you're going to have to learn to adapt, and you're going to have to learn, I hate to say play the game, but play the game.
Yeah, I don't know how long this economic model is sustainable for a lot of schools, especially at the Division II level. But, yeah, you're right. Either that or if you don't adapt, then you're going to be stuck at, 3-8, 4-7, that kind of thing, if not worse. So we will see what happens. While I'm thinking about it, Lanny, just a quick note about another thing, an activity that we finished up, an event last week. We had our annual Hanley Painter Bear Memorial Golf Tournament to honors former Lenoir-Rhyne athletes and coaches. It was the 37th annual golf tournament, raised almost $75,000, and then another $50,000 for the annual auction that they had. Just wanted to say a big shout out there. A lot of fans and supporters and alums that supported the Bears Club efforts in raising that money, about $125,000, a little bit over that this year. So again, it was near a record year. And I would like to thank a lot of the people that were involved with that, especially a lot of the fans and supporters and even sponsors that helped make it go last week.
Well, and that's important. Everybody has to understand that it takes everything to make it work.
It does, Lanny. And going around and looking at some of the other South Atlantic Conference schools and covering their games on the road, for a Division II school, private school like that, Lenoir-Rhyne is not. It's unusual to get this kind of support from a community. It's not the norm. Mm-hmm. It's more the exception, and we're very thankful of that, and thank the people that continue to support Lenoir-Rhyne athletics.
That's awesome. That is absolutely awesome. All right, my friend. Anything else before we close it out?
I was going to. Yeah, let me wait another week before another piece of information I'll pass along till I get it. Till I get confirmation.
That's okay. That's okay. I want to make sure you've got the platform you need for whatever you need to put out. But nothing happens. We'll do it again next week.
I mean, it's not earth-shattering or anything like that, but it's another sporting event coming to the area besides the high school football state championships.
Okay. We'll wait for that. All right, my friend, have a wonderful day, and appreciate you always making time for us, and I'll talk to you soon.
All right, Lanny, thanks as always, and as they say, go Bears.
Thanks, buddy. Juju Phillips, we appreciate him joining us as he does every week, and we get an update on the Bears. Basketball right around the corner, and, of course, Juju in a new position with the Bears Club. For Juju Phillips, I'm Lanny Ford. Have a great day, and we'll do this again real soon. I promise. See ya.